Welcome to Byte-Sized Tech.
Today, we are diving deep into a partnership that is literally changing the game in technology. We're going to start with the market's wild reaction, then get into the nuts and bolts of the alliance itself. We'll explore why everyone is scrambling for computing power, how that's shaking up the entire industry, and finally, what it all means for the AI-powered world we're all building. So let's kick things off with the day this news dropped, and the market just went wild.
You know, when this announcement hit, the market didn't just react. It absolutely erupted. I mean, look at this. AMD's stock shot up an incredible 28% in a single day. That added $70 billion to its value. That's not just a little bump. That's a massive tidal wave, a huge signal from investors that this deal is a really, really big deal. So what was all the fuss about? Well, it was a historic partnership between AMD, the chipmaker, and OpenAI, the leader in AI. And this isn't just, a simple order for some chips. We're talking about a deep, deep collaboration to build a gigantic infrastructure using AMD's next-gen AI technology. And what I find so interesting is how AMD's CEO, Lisa Su, talked about it. She didn't just call it a big win for her company. She framed it as a massive moment for the entire industry. And she boiled it all down to one single powerful idea. You just need more compute. That's the name of the game. And when we say more compute, the scale here is just staggering. They are planning to build out 6 gigawatts of AI compute together. To try and wrap your head around that, 1 gigawatt can power a city. This is an entirely different level of ambition, and they're starting with the first gigawatt coming online in late 2026. Okay, so you don't pull off something this massive with just a simple transaction. This required a real partnership, something truly symbiotic, where both sides are set up to win. And, an investor, Tony Wong at T. Rowe Price, he just described it perfectly. This isn't your typical customer-supplier thing. It's a co-development deal. Their futures are basically tied together now. Like he said, if they win together. And you can really see how this works for both of them. For AMD, getting OpenAI as a big league customer is huge. It validates their technology, it gives them incredible scale, and it's a signal to everyone else that they are a serious player. And for OpenAI, well, they get to lock down the raw computing power they desperately need to innovate. Plus, they're no longer solely reliant on one supplier and get access to custom chips for different jobs. Now, here's a really key detail in all of this. The main focus here is on something called inference. Now, training these big AI models gets all the headlines, but inference is the work that happens after. It's the process of actually using the model to answer your questions on ChatGPT or generate an image. It's the constant heavy lifting needed to serve millions of users, and that's what these new chips are all about. So all of this really leads to the big question, right? Why this multi-billion-dollar alliance? Why is there this frantic, industry-wide scramble for more and more processing power? The answer to that question, honestly, it kind of defines this whole era of technology we're living in. Greg Brockman from OpenAI used this incredible metaphor to describe this situation. He said we're living in a compute desert. It's not just that tech companies want more power, it's that the demand for it is so huge, it's completely outstripping the world's ability to supply it. There's just not enough to go around. And what created this desert? An explosion in demand that is, frankly, hard to believe. Just look at ChatGPT. 800 million people use it every week. This is a product that 3 years ago didn't even exist. That kind of insane growth creates an almost infinite appetite for compute. And listen, this isn't some theoretical problem for the future. It's a bottleneck that's happening right now. Brockman says it flat out. They literally cannot launch new features or products because they just don't have the processing power. The pace of innovation itself is being held back by supply. So you might be thinking, this is just a battle between a few tech giants. But it is so much bigger than that. This whole situation is a massive wake-up call for the entire global supply chain. That same investor, Tony Wang, made another great point. This isn't about AMD versus NVIDIA. It's not a zero-sum game where if one wins, the other has to lose. The reality is the pie is just getting bigger and bigger so fast that we need multiple huge players just to keep up with the incredible demand. And this is where you see just how complicated it all is. Building this AI future takes, well, everyone. Greg Brockman says the entire supply chain needs to wake up and start building. That means energy providers. He even mentioned nuclear, cloud companies like Oracle, the people who physically build data centers, and global manufacturing giants like TSMC, who make the actual silicon. It's the whole shebang. And the size of the prize here, the numbers are just mind-bending. Not long ago, Lisa Su estimated the market for AI chips would be over $500 billion. Now, seeing this incredible demand, she's saying even that massive number might be, in her words, a little conservative. Okay, so we've been talking about gigawatts and chips and supply chains, but what does all this abstract stuff actually mean on the ground? For us, for cities, for the economy? Well, for one, you've got cities literally competing to be the capital of the AI revolution. The mayor of San Francisco is out there declaring the city the home of AI. They see the huge economic boom and community impact this can have, and they want in. And this isn't just wishful thinking. You can actually see it in the data. According to Visa, in-person spending in San Francisco jumped 10% in the first half of the year. The AI boom is physically bringing more people and more activity back to the city.
But this goes way beyond just local economies. The whole conversation has been elevated. We're now talking about national strategy. Having a ton of computing power isn't just a commercial advantage anymore. It's being seen as a national security strategic resource. There's a major push to build as much of the stuff as possible right here in the US.
So when you boil it all down, we are building the fundamental infrastructure for a whole new AI-powered economy. It's like building the power grids and highways of the 20th century. This deal is about building more compute, but it leaves us with a real question. Once we have 10 times more AI power at our fingertips, what are we going to build with it? What are the unimagined tools and discoveries that come next? If you enjoyed this episode, please like, comment, share, and subscribe.